if it wasn't discrimination. And you have the nerve, you have the nerve to sit there on your high horse and preach to these bottom-feeding dwellers who sit in the chat room, like Alliance Blog, who's been doing this for over a decade, still only got 2,000 followers. Yeah, I see you. You're a jabroni and a ham sandwich, and I don't want to hear from you ever again about what the NWA is supposed to do. This is what pro wrestling is supposed to be. This is what the NWA is supposed to be. No. You don't tell anyone what the NWA is supposed to be, and you certainly don't lecture me about what the NWA is supposed to be. I made the NWA.
Why are you excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth. Is it true that your dad has a ringside seat, but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome. Yeah! Give it up for Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. High five. Yeah.
Woo! Here's the story now. If I see Kevin Owens, or even someone who looks like Kevin Owens, I drop them on sight.
Welcome.
It's party time!
So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party. It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com.
What day is it today?
Tuesday?
Your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J. Cal. I'm not Kevin Owens, nor do I play Kevin Owens on TV. However, people have been calling me Kevin Owens on TikTok, and I'm a little fed up with it. But we're over here on YouTube now. We're talking NWA. We're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance. And I'm here with my pals, my friends, my confidants over here on the YouTube channel. So let me say what's up to my friends. Of course, Willie Bowen. Willie Bowen has got the Tyrus joke of the day, in which he says Tyrus just got a new job. He will be filling in as the Goodyear blimp flying over SoFi Stadium. Willie, he's still a man. You can't just load him up with gas and expect him to float over the SoFi Stadium. What propellant would you use for Tyrus? I'm thinking refried beans. Devin Dowling's in the house. What's up, Double D-I-O? King Sean Vega's over on the TikTok side because he likes to stir it up. Yes, do you? I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I don't know why the YouTube live wasn't working. You guys said it didn't happen, but oh my gosh, they're still calling me Kevin Owens over there. Hey Matthew, did you follow me on TikTok yet? Follow me because I'm sure you'll have lots of fun doing this next week too. Steve G's in the house. Double D's here. Willie Bowen's here. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy said, don't forget to like, share, and after the stream, leave a comment because it helps with the algorithm. Excuse me. Sodas make me burpy. Yeah. Sam Retro's in the house. Sam Retro's like a celebrity sighting when he gets here on the YouTube channel because I know the man is busy. I know he's busy. So I don't hold it against him that he isn't on every single episode. But when he shows up, it's like a family reunion. I dig it. Jeremy, I want to see you with J Cal on an episode. Double D, an episode of what? An episode of what? We could do that. You are the celebrity. You're Kevin Owens. Oh, geez, Matt. I'm still getting follows on TikTok, and I appreciate that. Sam's here. Let's see. Noob is in the house. What's up, Noob? Steve G, you didn't make the list, man, because you are a respectful viewer, and you don't call me Kevin Owens, unlike Pittsburgh native, who just said, KO, what's up, dog? Thought you needed surgery. Kevin Owens does need surgery, Pittsburgh native. You just made the list. And why am I still doing the list? Why am I still doing the list? This is the pre-party, not the Temu Kevin Owens crash out hour. So let's go. King Sean Mega says TikTok is the winning team. I don't know, YouTube. YouTube, you're going to have to start giving us more likes. TikTok thinks they're taking over here. Pittsburgh native, all in fun and games, man. This is all part of the shtick. But now we're going to talk NWA. So, yeah, Willie Bowen's here. DKM is in the house. You're still talking DKM? I have the gift of yap. Not the gift of gab, the gift of yap, because I'm yapping all day. Just ask my kids. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit of wrestling. Obviously, there's been a lot of cool stuff happening for the National Wrestling Alliance, a promotion that I'm not sure deserves it, to be quite honest with you. If you watched last week's episode of Power, good Lord, it was a train wreck. It was worse than the train wreck. It was like the Hindenburg. Is that what it's called? The Hindenburg, the blimp when it crashed? Sorry, now I've got blimps on the mind. Thanks, Willie. You're making me thinking about blimps. Blimpy sandwiches. Ooh, I can go for a sandwich. Pittsburgh native said, hey, where can I watch the NWA in 2025? That's an awesome question, Pittsburgh native, and I'll share that with you and everyone who's watching. The NWA currently, until July 29th, can be seen on x.com/the NWA. That is where they show their program, Power. Power happens. Thanks for the hearts, Chris. Thanks so much. That's very sweet of you. It's weird telling men they're sweet on TikTok, but you know that's what it is. I don't know what to say. Guys. It's sweet. But getting back to Power, you can watch Power on X until July 29th, and that's when they will move Power to Roku. Now, currently, Roku is the home of the NWA via their channel Wrestling Central, and on that app on Roku, you can watch both NWA programming from yesteryear, and I mean pretty modern stuff. Everything from like basically the Billy Corgan era of the NWA. And for those of you who are watching that aren't familiar with the NWA, currently, the National Wrestling Alliance is the oldest sanctioning body in professional wrestling, dating back to 1948. Its first original champion was Orville Brown, and Luthez took that world title and unified it with all the other world championships at the time. That's why when we call the NWA title the World's Heavyweight Championship, it's because it's the collection of the world championships, plural. It's not like the WWE World Championship because that title belongs to the world. The NWA is a world's title because it is a collective of several world championships. And at the time, like every territory had their own world title. When the NWA formed, they collected all those into one championship belt. We now call that belt the 10 pounds of gold. And you see that one right here behind me on both TikTok and on YouTube. So yeah, I do watch NWA Power. And like I said, you can watch it currently on X, but starting July 29th on Tuesday, I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern, you can start watching it on the Roku Sports channel. And sorry, you guys got me. Double D got me. He said, you mean it's not the championship of multiple worlds? Yeah. But then going back to, so yeah, you can watch the NWA on their Roku, Wrestling Central. I think it's channel 208 on Roku. You can also, starting July 29th, watch it on Roku Sports. The new episodes will appear there. Currently, they're still available on the X app. You don't need to be a subscriber to watch it. You literally just go to the NWA user on X, and They put those videos up every Tuesday at 6:05 Eastern, 3:05 Pacific. So this is kind of like a pre-show for that. This is your pre-show for the NWA Power. Bet you didn't know that. It's not just a huckle and juckle hour. We're not just here making jokes and talking silliness. It's your pre-show. It's your pre-show, Daddy. A Pittsburgh native, that's a great way to put it. Essentially, Cena is holding a world's title since he merged titles. One dates back to the NWA, WCW, etc. Not really. Yes and no, because that world's heavyweight championship, the Big Goldie was separated from the rest of the WWE titles eventually. So you have your WWE World Championship, your WWE Universal Championship, and then the World's Heavyweight Championship. The WWE Championship and I believe the Universal Championship were merged into one title. Then they created that's the undisputed title, and then they created the new World Heavyweight Championship. So there's like technically three titles between the two championship title belts. And that's a lot to say, but yeah, essentially you could call Cena a world champion because it is a unified world title. Willie Bowen says, my favorite Nitro girls were Fire and Siren. Also, Diamond Dallas Page's wife. That's so disconnected, Willie, but amazing. Thank you. Huckle and Juckle with Jay Cal. That's what we're going to call Jeremy's show with me. It's just going to be called Huckle and Juckle with Jay and Jeremy. Haley, thanks for the heart me. I do appreciate you. I heard about Gable getting injured. I didn't know that was a legit injury, though. I thought that was something that they were working. Kimberly Page was fire. You all love the Booty Babe. You guys remember that's what they called her? She was the Booty Babe, and she hanged out with the Booty Man, who formerly was the Zodiac Man, and then all kinds of weird names. NWA and WWE are the only world titles because those are the only companies that have ever been number one. That's interesting. That's an interesting fact. I've always thought that WWE has always, not always, but WWE has been number one for many, many years. And when it comes to pro wrestling, what's up, Axolotl Kid? But like the NWA has that history. And I couldn't take that away from them. CMLL is the oldest running professional wrestling organization in the world, going back to I think the 1930s. So there's some legitimacy when they say that they're a world title as well. Let's see. So I'm at TikTok. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, but we're going to talk some NWA wrestling right now. So if you want to hang out and talk some NWA, I think that'll be a lot of fun. If you don't, that's okay too. I'll still be talking about it either way, so I hope you guys don't mind. And as Steve G brings up a good point, wasn't Crockett Promotions number one before? Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much going on here when it comes to a world title. And really, I mean, let's be honest, the last real world's title was the belt that Lou Thez held that unified the world titles all across the country. Because unless AEW takes their main championship, the number one title, which I believe is still the AEW world title, and unifies that with the IWGP world title and the CMLL world championship, none of them are world titles. Predominantly the IWGP titles defended in Japan, occasionally in the United States, occasionally in the UK. AEW world championship is occasionally defended in Australia, occasionally defended in the UK and in Mexico. The CMLL world title really isn't defended outside of Mexico. So, I mean, it's all just, it's however people want to say it. Devin Dowling says Thanos is my world's champion. Yeah. Steve G said Ric Flair, he defended that everywhere. I mean, so we got to give credit to guys like Ric Flair, Harley Race, both Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr., because, yeah, those guys did take that title all around the world. And so it's hard to argue that, right? And I mean, look, currently the title that John Cena has, it's going to go be defended in Saudi Arabia, which is cool, right? That's amazing. If that happens. but it's not against a wrestler from that local market. Whereas when Luthez was world champion, I mean, he was fighting Ricky Dozen in Japan, you know? It was kind of a big deal. Ricky Dozen wasn't actually Japanese. He was Korean. But don't let that get twisted. That's just Chris. Chris on TikTok says, and there's only one real world championship, and that's why when Kevin Owens holds it. It's funny. I laugh. I want everyone to know it's all fun and games. Tom Latimer is a real world champion. You absolutely could make the case for Tom Latimer. However, I would give EC3 the nod more than Tom, just because when EC3 was world champion, we've talked about this. He took the belt to Australia. He took the belt to the United Kingdom. He took the belt to Canada, right? Now, the cool thing that Tom is doing, like Tom has also been to the UK. Tom has not been to Canada. Excuse me. Tom has been to Canada. Tom has not been to Australia, but Tom has taken the belt to Canada multiple times for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. And Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling isn't like an indie. It's like a big promotion. It's the biggest wrestling promotion in Canada right now, hands down. I always thought TNA should just move to Canada and become Canada's biggest wrestling promotion, but I guess that's not in the cards. Steve G is going back to yesterday's the Other Alliance guys. I did not watch yesterday. I was under the weather. I crashed. I got home from work like at 3:00 and I went to bed. Speaking of Tom, Scooby Fantasy booked Tom versus Andrade. Look, if Andrade was coming to the NWA, I would love to see that match. The X's of Charlotte, right? And they're battling over Sweet Charlotte. It's kind of funny. Sam Retro brings up a good point. Tom took the belt to Austria. That's a good one. And like, Nick Aldis also did quite a bit for that 10 pounds of gold. And as much as I hate to say anything nice about Nick Aldis because he's a dirtbag, but he did put over the 10 pounds of gold. He's had more title defenses in the UK than any other NWA world champion. Granted, he's from the UK, but he's living in America when he made most of those defenses. He did take the title to Canada multiple times. He did take the title to China, Wenchou, China, which no other NWA world champion could say that. He also took the title to Poland, Australia, but he didn't take it to Mexico. The only person to take that title to Mexico in like the last 15 years, Willie Bowen's favorite pro wrestler of all time, the one, the only, Tyrus. Oh my God. Get in focus, Tyrus. Come on, it's your spotlight. There it is. No, you're not watching Fox News. Sorry. This is a ham sandwich jabroni. That's right, Bubba. You tell him, Jeremy. We're going to go a whole hour at some point, Jeremy and I. We're just going to talk. We're going to spit shade at the former world heavyweight champion. Tyrus is the Manili of pro wrestling. Oh, Willie Bowen with the victory lap. Good Lord. Good Lord. Camille versus Charlotte. Did you guys hear Camille's going to be on American Gladiators? I don't think we made a big enough deal about that, but Camille, along with Wardlow and Rick Bonger, are going to be on American Gladiators, hosted by The Miz. I can't wait to see it. Just because Camille, that's our girl. That's our girl. Camille held the Burke for like damn near like 3 years. I tried to get her to come on. She wasn't really interested. She said she would, and then she got signed by AEW, and then I got left on red. That's all right. Not Maple Leaf Gardens. Nick almost defended at the Madison Square Garden, and that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Stop with the Nick Aldis love, Willie. What was his name in Magnus? Come on. What a dumb name. What does Magnus even mean? You think he's Magneto from the X-Men? Shut up. Yeah, but Sam, going back to Nick, he almost had that opportunity to defend the 10 pounds of gold at Madison Square Garden, and that would have been huge. Huge. That would have been amazing. Do we know when it returns? I think they're filming right now, Steve. Let's see. I will Google search it. Earlier in TikTok, they told me to follow or I should collab with Santa Zap, and I was like, who is this guy? And now I know who he is. When will American Gladiators return? And I'm not on Google right now. I am on Microsoft Bing. American Gladiators is currently in production, and while no official premiere date has been announced, it is expected to debut on Amazon Prime Video in over 240 countries and territories around the world. 5 pro wrestlers cast on American Gladiators includes AEW's Wardlow and Camille. Yeah, Chris. I remember watching. So my American Gladiators fascination was back when I was a kid too. You know, it would be on roughly around the same time as the WWE programming here in Southern California. So I would remember like I'd watch Superstars on our Fox affiliate, and then on our local channel I'd watch Glow, and then after watching Glow I'd watch a different local channel that had American Gladiators on it, and that was like my Saturday morning for a long time. And then they'd put American Gladiators at night too, and then so like you'd watch the older episodes on Saturdays and the new ones at night. Fun times. American Gladiators was always such a good deal. You guys are like saying, Willie says, I love Zap. Lace was where it was at. Lace did magazine work, and I will leave it at that. Magus was his name in TNA. What did I say? Noob, you are 100% right. And that's what I started talking about, but we kind of went off the rails here for a minute. The sketches are becoming embarrassing to look at, and it's not like SNL or Mad TV levels of comedy. No, this is garbage. It's absolute garbage, and I don't know what the hell is going to happen when the NWA makes its debut on Roku. Like, if people who are going to Wrestling Central right now and turning on Wrestling Central to channel 208 on the Roku app and watching matches from the NWA in 2023, they're getting some good stuff. You know, earlier today they did the 74th anniversary show. The last time I watched it, I watched the When the World is a Vampire tour, which featured AAA talent and NWA talent. It was awesome. In a couple months, maybe a year from now, when you're turning on the Roku app and it's Wrestling Central and you've got, you know, the Southern Six in a bar talking about teamwork, who's going to watch that? Who's going to watch that? Like, that's the quickest way to change the channel. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys right now. Last week's Power was so bad, I almost don't want to watch it this week. I almost feel like maybe my time would be better suited. I don't know. You know, the other Alliance guys are watching the other territories. Like, maybe that's what we should do. Because last week was bad. And I'm here on TikTok. I'm here on YouTube. And I'm advocating for you guys to check out the NWA. And then they make me look stupid by putting on a segment at the Kia car dealership. And where are they at? Dothan, Alabama. It's terrible. It was horrible. Willie's saying, go ahead and watch JCP or Exodus. Watch Reality of Wrestling, the winning team. You know, Reality of Wrestling is not a bad program. And I know they feature my guy, Will All Day, Danny Limelight. Danny Limelight, friend of the show. And since we're talking about Danny Limelight, just real quick, holler at your boy, Danny Limelight.
We hate that. You already know who it is. It's the radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Poppy.
Straight from Poppy. So I mean, looking at what the NWA did last week, I'm very scared at what I'm going to see this week. And what's interesting is, and I can't mention any names, but I had a conversation with somebody who recently was telling me about the NWA, somebody who has a relationship within the NWA, and I won't say anything more than that, and they were very disappointed in the direction of the company. I can't say anything more than that. Don't ask. I'm not going to say. But it's not a good show. And the fact that they start off last week's episode with a skit in a car dealership about motivational, like a motivational speaker thing, it's not good. Pittsburgh native, I'm talking about my my program that I spend the most time dedicated to, NWA Power. I know I told you should go watch it, but honestly, I wish it was a better product than it is. Like, look, selfishly, I'm an NWA fan. I've been an NWA fan. I've spent the last 15 years, like, not only just covering the show, right, covering the product, the entirety of the NWA, and we've been podcasting about the NWA for about 15 years. First on Blog Talk Radio, now we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, iTunes, all that good stuff. You can hear us almost anywhere that you listen to podcasts if you look up the Alliance blog. But man, the show was so bad last week. It makes me scared to watch it this week. I don't want it to be bad. The talent is great. The NWA in-ring talent is really, really good. The wrestling wasn't great last week, but I feel like they did a bad job of putting matches together. This week, I am a lot more confident that the wrestling will be better. Yeah, Pittsburgh native, exactly. And for YouTube, our new friend Pittsburgh native over on TikTok says, spots, even if 90% of the show is trash, in my opinion, it's worth seeing your favorite, like Penta for me. Getting to see Penta for 15 minutes makes up for an hour of crap. Understood. And that's kind of like where we are now with the NWA, because this week we have a couple of matches. Again, each episode of Power is like 3 matches. And the 3 matches we're getting this week are going to be, I'm not super excited about Mondo. Let me pull it up again. I forgot what the match is, but I'll get it right now. We have 2 title matches. It's a lot of tag team wrestling this week, actually. So we're getting the Southern Six, who are Alex Taylor, the current NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, and his partner, Kerry Morton, along with Silas Mason, who is by far the future of the NWA. They will be taking on the NWA USA Tag Team Champions, the Cazanas brothers, AJ and KC, the Country Gentlemen. Now, this is the matchup is going to be really fun. There's kind of like an ongoing storyline between the Cazanas and Kerry Morton, going back to their papas. The Cazanas are like 4th generation wrestlers or 4th generation connection to the wrestling industry. Their great grandfather was running in the Southeast Territory. I think I want to say like Alabama and Tennessee. So there was a lot of wrestling produced by the Cazanas family. And then Joe Cazanas was an enhancement talent for the WCW. If you remember watching Sid powerbomb people on Saturday nights, WCW Saturday night, then you saw a lot of Joe Cazanas. Kerry Morton's the son of Ricky Morton, Ricky Morton has held an NWA World Championship in almost 6 different decades. So you can't say enough good things about Ricky Morton. I don't need to watch him wrestle anymore. Watching Kerry wrestle is great. Kerry's a former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Kerry took the Junior Heavyweight title to Mexico. Kerry had a great run as the World Junior Heavyweight Champion, but now he is resigned himself to the heavyweight division. So he's no longer, on paper a junior heavyweight. And he teams with the Junior Heavyweight Champion and Alex Taylor. And again, this is for the U.S. tag titles. The titles aren't predominantly seen on the Power television show. This is like the first time they've been defended on TV in probably about a year. And you won't see them on Power because they're more of a territorial title at this point. But the Southern Six, as those tag team champions, are pretty. It's a good time. It's fun. We also see Mondo. He's formerly known as Mike Mondo, part of the Spirit Squad in the WWE. He takes on Zyon, and Zyon also has connections to the WWE. He used to be in a tag team whose name I forgot right now. I'm sure my folks on YouTube are going to tell me who it is. But that's a matchup. I'm kicking down the door to see, but it should be a lot of fun. Zyon is kind of an old school approach to pro wrestling. It's more fists and body slams than anything else. And then Mondo is a lot of fun to watch in wrestling. He recently started teaming up with another guy named Slade, and we see them at the Crockett Cup, and that's a tag team that I can really get behind. And then, of course, I think the biggest match of the night is going to be, Tiffany Nieves, who currently works for Reality of Wrestling, also works for Exodus Pro, has been seen on Ohio Valley TV. She will be teaming with Valentina Rossi, who is known well in the WOW community as Adriana Gambino, who's also part of the Alliance, no affiliation to this alliance. They'll be teaming up together to take on the Women's World Champion, Kenzie Paige, and her tag team partner, Big Mama, the former TV champion. And they'll be defending the women's tag team titles. Now, the reason why this is a significant match is because, number one, Tiffany Nieves took the women's television title off of Big Mama. Big Mama at one point was the women's television champion for the NWA, the women's tag team champion for the NWA, and the United Wrestling Network world champion. So she had 3 belts. We were calling her Big Mama 3 belts there for a while, with all respects to Becky. But so it's kind of interesting to see how that's kind of changed a little bit. And now we're going to see Mondo and Sion's little brother. The Ascension. Thank you, Chris Drummond. Going back to Zyon, he did work with the Ascension. Pittsburgh native says Kenny Dykstra, I think, was Mondo's partner in 2006 when he won the WWE Tag Champs. Yeah, same guy. He's a little bit buffer now and a lot more balder. But a fun match nonetheless. And then, like I said, Tiffany Nieves and Valentina Rossi. I got to see them at the Crockett Cup. They are a phenomenal tag team. They look really good together. And I think that this will be a great match between them and Kenzie and Big Mama and those women world tag team titles on the line. Both sets of tag titles are on the line. It'll be a lot of fun. I feel like it's going to be a good I think the wrestling's going to be good. Pittsburgh native, I want you to watch, but again, take that mindset that, watch for the wrestling, watch for the good parts. There's going to be a lot of the crap on the back end. And I don't think anyone in the YouTube chat's going to tell me otherwise either. I think it's going to be pretty good show in terms of the in-ring wrestling. I think everything else is going to be kind of a stinker. Double D says, Kerry's going to teach those Southern boys what country really is like. Is Kerry really country at this point? By the way, I sent this shirt right here. I sent one to AJ Cazanas, so we'll see if you wear it sometime. Pittsburgh native says, I'll tune in for sure, bro. I have been watching CMLL because of how bad WWE has been, in my opinion. That's interesting. I've started watching more WWE lately, and I can't say it's all good, but there's a lot of it that I do like. But I'm a huge Lucha fan too. So Matthew, this is Alliance. See how it says Alliance Wrestling, and it doesn't say anything about Kevin Owens, Matthew? Nothing about Kevin Owens. All right, I need a drink of water. You guys are taking a lot out of me here today. Pittsburgh native on TikTok and anyone watching in YouTube, check out my boy Soto 619 on TikTok. He's also on YouTube. You could check that out because he does a lot of he does recaps of Raw. So on the nights that I miss it, I'll just watch his recaps and get caught up. No, we don't have Fight Owens Fight on the back. We have Alliance Wrestling because we're branded, bro. We're branded. Okay, I need to, Devin Dallas says, water, huh? We know vodka when we see it. Yeah, just like they know Kevin Owens when they see it too, huh? Double D. See, maybe it is vodka. Maybe. No, it's water. Pittsburgh native. I mean, I wouldn't call it a living, right? I'm not making a ton of money doing this. I do make a little bit of money. It is it's a side business. And if my first business wasn't doing so well, I wouldn't have this to do. But I've been doing this for a long time. I'm still kind of new on TikTok. It's still new for me on TikTok. But we've been on YouTube since 2018. Have been monetized since like 2023. It took a while to get there, but now we have over 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're growing every day. And yeah, it's fun. If Pittsburgh native, if you're into the NWA or just willing to check it out, I would say that coming to join us over here on YouTube would be a good spot if you want to find out about it. If not, that's cool too. Sean, I don't have part-time jobs on the other job. We don't have that. We don't have that much money, man. I'm not Bill Gates over here. But I'll let you know when something changes. How about that? Is that fair? Why the light is so white today? I'll take whatever. Jeez, thanks, Sean. Let's see. Why am my light so bright right now? It's been this way all day, but I'm just now noticing it, and it's annoying me. Why don't I? Okay, that's a great question, Chris. Why don't I stream on X? So to stream on X, you have to be verified. You have to be a verified content creator, which means you have to pay about $8 a month to be on there. Well, to be quite honest with you, Chris, I don't think that I would make the $8 a month it would cost to be verified on X. And also, when it comes to a platform like X, I don't typically think of that as being a platform for video content. So I'm currently, right now, as we're talking, I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitch, and I'm on Kick. I don't think I have any followers on Kick. I have some followers on X. And then I have, or not, it's not X, excuse me, on Twitch. And then YouTube is where the majority of the people who watch my content watch it at. We're starting to pick up on TikTok, though. And I really do enjoy the community that's on TikTok. The wrestling community is very welcoming and a lot of fun. And so I like to try to I'm trying to grab some of those TikTok fans to come over to YouTube, but really, and I know TikTok doesn't want to hear this, but I'm trying to bring this show right now so we can put it on TikTok and do the whole show right there in TikTok. So you can see all the comments and we can interact a little bit better. And I think that'd be a lot of fun also for Thursday nights and Monday nights with the other Alliance guys too. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And it's just my name is at the Alliance blog everywhere. It's everywhere. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram, on Facebook. I think there's a Tumblr out there. There used to be a Pinterest. We're even on Flip. X and Tyrus Wrestling Skills have one thing in common. They both suck. It's funny. Tyrus is invested in Popeye's chicken. Pittsburgh native, I think I have a Reddit, but I'm not super active on it. Comment said, I scrolled by really fast and I thought you were Kevin Owens doing TikTok lives. King Sean, are you enjoying TikTok? Power, says Kevin. Okay, getting back to the YouTube channel, because I already ran down the power card and I did it fast. We talked about the Roku app, and again, putting it over, like, I think Wrestling Central is a fun watch. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go download the Roku app. I think it's channel 208. A lot of, every time I've turned it on, it's wrestling. It's NWA wrestling. I haven't seen any WOW on there. That's not to say that it isn't there. I just haven't seen it yet. But I have seen a lot of the NWA, and it's fun. It's the good stuff. It's more of what I liked about the NWA a few years ago. And I'm deathly afraid of what they're going to produce for the Roku app on June 29th for the sports channel. Because when you look at the NWA, like as it's set up currently now, of course, once it hits the Roku app, we're going to be, the matches are going to be from the Crockett Cup. I was at the Crockett Cup, and I can tell you the wrestling was top notch. I would not have changed anything about the wrestling that happened at the Crockett Cup. It was awesome, like legitimately awesome to see Natty Neidhart in that environment. It was awesome to see just the different tag teams that were taking place. They got a little extreme. I mean, Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky tore the house down with the chain match. That was a lot of fun. It was interesting to see the growth of Sage and I always forget the other guy's name. The slime balls, like that was a lot of fun. Seeing, I'm not a huge fan of Carson Bartholomew Drake or a big fan of the wooden and laconic Brian Idol, but they put together a pretty decent match, and I think that will be a lot of fun too. But it's, when they premiere on the Roku app, I swear to God, if they're at some sort of car dealership in Philly, I'm going to trim the channel and never turn it back on. Because I can't believe that you would look anywhere the NWA is at this point. They're trying to be seen. They want to be seen. And, being limited to only on X for live content is a little odd to me. I feel like there are better options. We've beaten that horse as much as we can beat it. Let's move on. But to start off a show with a very poorly written sketch that doesn't even tie into the main product that we're watching on TV, it just feels very short-sighted. It feels very dumb. And, the NWA has made some bad steps and some bad choices over the last few years. I wouldn't call Billy Corgan a dumb businessman, but some of these moves have been just dumb. And coming off the goodwill that you had from Crockett Cup, you had Rhino in the ring with the world's heavyweight champion, Colby Corino. You had, Natty Neidhart challenging for the Women's World Championship. Like, these are all super positive things. And if they don't use that footage of Kenzie and Natty from Game Changer Wrestling, post-match pull apart between the two to build up this match on Power, I'm going to be disappointed. If they don't use the footage of Kenzie, running into the Tampa dungeon and attacking Natty, I'm going to be disappointed. They did the work for this match. They really should highlight it. And a real terrible crime is you had Tom Latimer and all these wrestling promotions leading up to the Crockett Cup, whether it be in St. Louis or Indianapolis or even like Michigan, even Maple Leaf. He was in all these different places defending the 10 pounds of gold. And Rhino was right there. And we didn't see any videos hyping it. We didn't see any interaction between the two. And all of that could have been filmed and saved, right? They could have filmed it and save it for the Crockett Cup. Or they could have been releasing it and letting us watch it on the Power. And, I just don't know, man. I'm just disappointed with what the NWA has done. And come July 29th, Tuesday at 8:05 Eastern, or I guess just 8 o'clock Eastern, and that'll be 5 p.m. Pacific. I just hope for the best. Noob said it pretty well. He says, look, the reason why I watch the NWA, and that's to see Natalia Markova, not to see these silly SNL skits. She's a draw, Billy's investment, top star, the face of the NWA. I mean, look, there's no doubt about it. Natalia Markova is a good-looking girl. She can go in the ring. I'm surprised that they haven't seen her take a step in a different direction from the NWA, whether it be AEW, TNA Wrestling, the WWE. I don't know why they haven't picked her up somewhere else yet, because she is far and away one of the better talents in the NWA, and they're not willing to pull the trigger on it. And maybe that'll change at the 77th. She is scheduled to have a title shot at the the women's champion. Almost said the women's world champion. Almost said the women's world heavyweight champion. The women's world championship at the 77th anniversary show. And I mean, that'd be a great place to put the belt on her. At this point, there's nothing more Kenzie can do as women's world champion. And I feel like it would be, this would give them an opportunity to go a different direction. Maybe you could put Kenzie and Kylie as a full-time tag team for a while. Kind of like how they're putting EC3 in the tag team division. He's not focused on getting a return match for the title or even going up the singles ladder. He is now focused on the tag team division, teaming up with Pretty Boy Smooth. They'll be making their way to the Crockett Cup. So it'll be interesting to see that too. Thanks for the follow, guys. David Valentine, the NWA versus MLW would be fire. There are a lot of great parts about the NWA that would work well in MLW and vice versa, but I don't see an interpromotional thing going on between the two. There's too much ego involved and too many moving parts. And I don't think, could you imagine Matt Riddle coming to the NWA and challenging Tom Latimer for the 10 pounds of gold? I mean, that'd actually be pretty cool, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Spencer Slade take on Matt Riddle. That would actually be a really good match, I think. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Where's everybody at over here on the YouTube channel? You guys got quiet. Was I not talking enough to you guys over here? Was I focusing too much on the TikTok audience? Yeah, there's a lot of ego in pro wrestling, and that's the thing. Every wrestler you've ever met has a huge ego. Hey, John Woodmass, NWA for life, brother. That's right, man. Thank you for coming over here. I don't think I've seen you in one of our chats before, John, so I'm making a mental note. Thank you for checking us out. I hope you'll check us out again. We'll be live on Thursday, where we are going to recap what's happening on NWA Power this week, so you don't have to. We'll talk about what's coming up to the NWA. Of course, we've mentioned the Roku app. We've mentioned bringing power to the NWA to the Roku Sports channel. But there's still some pretty cool stuff coming up, including that they'll be back at the TV tapings in Tampa this next Tuesday, July 1st. And that's a big deal. They don't normally film on a Tuesday, so they're definitely trying to get these matches in as quickly as possible so that they can get to the 77th anniversary show as quickly as they can. And that's the thing. Like, there was the Crockett Cup, and then we've been on coasting ever since. They had to burn through hard times, and there's nothing between hard times and the Crockett Cup. So as soon as hard times wraps up, we're going to go right into the Crockett Cup, and that'll probably be coincide with the debut on the Roku app. And then they'll have those TV tapings in Tampa, and then the 77th anniversary show. So we should get some pretty relatively fresh NWA content a lot sooner than later. Good stuff, bro. Former indie wrestler in the UK. Oh, that's cool, John. That's really cool. We have some friends in the UK. In fact, I was in London back in April to watch Rev Pro. Good stuff out there in the UK. Our pal Fiona does a lot of ring announcing for some of the wrestling promotions in Scotland, and they do Hitting the Turnbuckle. Her and I believe his name's John. I forgot off the top of my head, and if his name isn't John, then I apologize. But yeah, they do good stuff out there too. And Hitting the Turnbuckle is a good show. Willie Bowen says, I remember when NWA and AWA is supposed to have a crossover matches on ESPN, and it failed. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not that ego will certainly kill things very, very quickly. John, you do the Pac, huh? The one that I remember that kind of got me is the NWA World Champion, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. I think he was into his either fourth or third title run, did a tour of the UK. Well, I say tour. He did one match in NWA Hammerlock, and then later did a match in WXW. And there's a picture of him and Gunther, both as the respective world champions, one of the NWA, the other of WXW when he was Walter. And it's a great picture, but his match in the UK was against little-known wrestling legend. How am I going to forget his name right now? Oh, it's on the top of my tongue. Oh, no. Why can't I think of his name? Former IWGP World Champion. Somebody help me out. I can't believe my brain just shut down. Zack Sabre Jr. Woo! Woo! Zack Sabre Jr. So I didn't meet Walter, but the NWA World Champion did, and they did a photo op, of course, because why don't you? But yeah, Walter is one of my favorite guys to watch in the WWE right now. J. Ian Clarkson on TikTok said, "Am I an Eagles fan?" So we do these we call them the Alliance Wrestling Summit, and we do these get-togethers in this community. I guess to further explain it, not only do we talk about the NWA, but we've built this community called alliance-wrestling.com. At the Alliance blog is where we do our YouTubes and everything else. And there's a community of the fans that will go to the wrestling shows together. So last year, we went to Philadelphia for it was the Crockett Cup. Excuse me, last year was the anniversary show in Philly. And then the year before that, it was we went to St. Louis for the anniversary show. And then this year, they did the Crockett Cup in Philadelphia. So I had these shirts made up, and we handed them out to people who are part of this community. So some of the wrestlers who participated got a shirt. Some of the referees, some of the ancillary talent got T-shirts. And then, the people who I deem part of this alliance. So mostly if you're on YouTube, you'll see those guys. So, yeah, I did the hardcore, because it was in the ECW arena. Plus, our mascot is the red Firebird that you can see over here. I think you can see that on TikTok. Now I have to double check real quick. Nope, that's not the right one. There it is. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, that's our logo. That's the website's logo and everything. So we just kind of did a take on that and did it like in the Phillies kind of not Phillies, the Eagles, the Phillies. Good Lord, man. Did Misery get a T? No, Misery didn't get a T, and I kind of regret it, but Misery started popping on here a little bit more frequently after the Crockett Cup, and I think maybe he kind of started putting two and two together. But if Misery's out there, I have a size small. I'm sure he could fit in it. Cut it up and make it into a tank top. T-Pum on TikTok says he actually thought I was KO. I get that a lot. In fact, I got that at least 40 times today. Oh, Zach, another one like Will Ospreay, lovely people. Yeah, man. So getting just back to UK wrestling real quick, I had such a great time when I was there. Obviously, for Rev Pro, I'm talking about. Obviously, there is a lot of wonderfully talented people in the UK when it comes to pro wrestling. Of course, Nick Aldis and Tom Latimer, but even guys like Johnny Moss, I don't think they get their just desserts. Finn Balor was really big in the area for a while there too. But when I was there back in April, I got to see Michael Oku live. I got to see Chris Ridgway, was a guy who I've had my eye on Chris Ridgway for a long time because he's been part of the NWA in the past. Ricky Knight Jr. was there. And so it was a real fun show. I really enjoyed my time. I didn't get to stay for the whole event because we were only in London for a few days, and we're actually on our way to Scotland that day. But it was really cool to see a Rev Pro show. And Rev Pro reminds me so much of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, like back in the day, that I feel very excited to see that. Soto said, "Wish you were in the King of the Ring tournament." Damn it, Soto. Oh, Willie Bowen brings up a very good pairing of Doug Williams and Harry Smith, the former World Tag Team Champions. How could I forget that? Double D says, "I love Ospreay." Ospreay is probably one of my favorites to watch in AEW right now. I was there when he wrestled Kyle Fletcher in the cage match, and that was sick. Like it got way more violent than it needed to, but it was a fun match, man. Been on Rene Dupree's Cafe chat. It's absolutely 100% comedy, bro. Should pop on Bret Hart as a regular. I'll make a note of that. Rene Dupree's Cafe chat. Is Rene Dupree living in the UK right now? Ospreay and Swerve are current top two. The Swerve is amazing too. Don Gizzle, interracial cultural cis bim bros. It's going to be a coffin flame match, fires in the ring. What are you talking about, Don? Fire and flames match in a coffin? James Storm versus Chris Jericho in AEW Dynamite Wrestling. What? You still work what Culture Pro Wrestling in Newcastle? Funny stuff, great laugh. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, Canada, that makes sense. Yeah, What Culture Pro Wrestling. And then I forgot I also have a friend in the UK who promotes it was initially Fight Nation, and then they were IPW UK, and now they're back to Fight Nation again, and that's Billy. What's his last name? I can't remember his last name, so now I'm going to look it up. Billy, I want to say Wood. And he was a part of the NWA for a short time. And good dude. Really like that guy as well. He's been on the podcast. Billy Wood. He's been on the podcast a few times, which is crazy because he came on the podcast at like 4:00 in the afternoon, which is like after midnight for you guys. And I was like, whoa, thanks, man. Soto says, are you going to AEW next Wednesday? I'm thinking about it, Soto. It's literally in my backyard, and I bet you I can get tickets at the door. In fact, that's the bet I'm going to make, because I can get tickets at the door. But that'll also be back-to-back nights of wrestling, because I will be at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on that Tuesday before January 1st. AEW will be in Ontario on January 2nd. I said July, excuse me. But, I mean, I guess that's going to stop us now. I mean, that's kind of it, guys. We kind of ran out of NWA stuff to talk about. So I apologize if you got bored listening to the other wrestling talk. But every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I go on TikTok to talk wrestling, where people call me Kevin Owens. But you can call me J-Cal. And then the second hour of that conversation on TikTok blends right in here to our YouTube channel, where we do the pre-party, where we talk mostly about the NWA. And I'll get to that in a second. I got to finish. Where's the third hour? Double D, God, how long do you want me to sit in the seat for, man? What sits spreads, and I don't want to spread anymore. But yeah, we'll see in Double D. I'm trying to get on TikTok more, so you'll see more activity on TikTok, because I need to stream more to bring the podcast on to TikTok. So we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna say thanks for everyone for watching here on YouTube and on TikTok. We'll be back on Thursday to talk a little bit more wrestling, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it. So until then, we'll see you at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.